Look who's back on the show. Corey Signer joining us from Fisherman's Market. We haven't seen you for a while.
Yes, well, I'm standing in for Mark Tovey today, who's enjoying his fabulous vacation in somewhere in Ontario.
Is he? Good for him.
I don't know exactly where, but he's got a lot of family back, so he's fishing.
He's in Muskoka.
Muskoka, yeah, he catches a lot of big bass, He's got a bunch of pictures of his gigantic fish that he caught. He's him and his brothers. They're very much the boys.
Good, good.
The boys.
Always nice to have you back on the show.
Always a pleasure.
We're dealing with some white salmon today. I don't know if I've ever heard of white salmon.
White spring salmon, and we're going to talk about the white spring and what makes it a white spring and why it's so awesome and why we promote it very heavily. And then we're going to be doing a seasonal succotash today as well. So at the fish shops now, especially in Kelowna, where I kind of live in Kelowna, we've got a bunch of chefs. Like Red Seal trained chefs, they're kind of running the show there. So now when we do these cooking shows, they go, oh, well, you have to do a succotash. Oh, that sounds complicated. And they explain how to do it, and it's not. And then we're also going to go over, we're doing a crispy skin salmon as well. I've already got it in the pan, but we'll look at this piece here and talk about how to do the crispy skin, which is really quite simple. So I started this early just because it takes a little bit longer. It's a thick piece of fish that we're dealing with. Spring salmon or king salmon or Chinook being kind of the thicker of the salmon. Bigger. Okay. They're bigger. You get a nice thick cut there. Almost looks like halibut there. And we'll talk about that. So I've got my pan nice and hot here. So for a succotash, usually it's like lima beans with corn as kind of the main components. There's no lima beans when we went shopping. So we're going to do some corn. So we're just getting our corn down in the pan. And we're going to get a little caramelization on your corn. It's just, you know, especially in the Okanagan, we're so lucky with all the fruit that we get, like locally grown fruit and vegetables. So you got such an array of choices. So this time of year, succotash, we're going to go with some corn, caramelize it with some onions. We've got some beautiful yellow zucchini, green zucchini, some gorgeous little like vine-growing tomatoes. And that's like, it's super simple. We're going to put it on a sriracha aioli. Top it with our crispy skin whitefish, white spring, and it's a good looking meal. It's easy, it's quick, and best of all, you don't have to break the bank to get it.
Yes.
Which is why Fisherman's Market promotes white spring the way we do. Growing up, I guess if you look at it in the shop, it's not as red, right? So it doesn't have like that appeal, I think, the eye appeal for people. So we promote this. Our fathers would bring this home off the boats. White spring was big because you put your reds to market, you bring the white spring home. So we grew up eating white spring. It is fatty and is delicious. Any idea why it's white instead of red?
Because of the fat?
Oh, that's a very good guess. It's actually, good try. It's actually, it's a metabolism. It doesn't digest, it doesn't metabolize the pigment, the color of what it's eating. So that's why it stays bone white. It's actually a little bit oilier and a little bit fattier than a red spring. And in very comparable, if you look it up, it's actually, it ranks very, very high. It's used by really big name chefs now, especially in Vancouver and stuff. And it's a huge fish. And you can pick this up for a little bit less money than a red spring. So you save a bit of money and you get a phenomenal meal, which is awesome.
All right.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Okay, so we got our corn on the go here. We've got our onion. And again, I don't do measurements or anything like that.
That's the only way to go.
You know, we post all these videos too on our YouTube page. And people like hate. You get a lot of like the hate mail.
What do they say?
Just like, what are you doing and that kind of stuff. And again, just the disclaimer, not a chef. I'm here to promote seafood and sustainability and ocean-wise and beautiful salmon and not a chef.
I haven't seen this on you. I haven't looked them up. I'm going to have to. And you're just saying, what are you doing?
They're just like, yeah, what are you doing? You don't know what you're doing. I'm
the
like,
truth is, I think that when our kitchens and we're cooking, we add a little of this and a little of that. Nobody is pulling out the measuring spoon unless you're making something pretty specific.
Throw it in there and make it,
it's fun this way.
It totally is. So I'm going to flip my fish here. We've got a beautiful crispy skin. So some people like to eat the skin. Surprisingly, I'm actually more of a skin off kind of guy when I cook my fish.
Skin off kind of a guy.
Yeah, but if you do like the skin, we'll take a look at the backside here. So all you want to do, there's scales on salmon. So if you just take your knife and you just run it along there, it's going to pull. I've already done this once, so there's not a lot on there. But it's just going to go against the grain. And you can see we're getting some scales on there.
Yes.
I'm pulling off the scales, and that way you will be able to eat that piece of skin absolutely. It's delicious. It's tasty. A lot of people love it.
Tell me this. If you don't like eating with the skin, should you take it off before you cook it or leave it on and then take it off after you cook it? You
know, if you're baking and you're going to do like the tinfoil baking or barbecuing kind of thing, it's going to slip right off the skin when you're done cooking it. So don't worry about it. If you're pan searing, and I'm a little bit of an phobe with this, if you're pan searing, ask your fishmonger. That's why you go into places like the market, you get a full service. Ask us to take the skin off of it. So we got all our zucchini going in. I'm making enough succotash today for like 9 people because I know Marcel's here and Marcel's gonna want to eat. I don't know if Mark's been feeding you properly or not, Marcel, but today you'll feast like a king. We're gonna season this with a little bit of salt and pepper. We got these lovely new Canadian salts. We did a whole bunch of different kinds. Maple. This one's a salt and pepper one. They got a whole bunch of different kinds. All Canadian salt, Canadian company. We sell them in the store. Super good, super nice. They're quite reasonably priced too. I think it's like $5 for the package of them.
So
and there's
smashed peppercorn and sea salt together.
That one is pepper. Yeah, so it's like an all-in-one, super easy.
Yeah.
Quality on them is amazing, and the fact that it's all Canadian, I think nowadays we're just more and more leaning towards keeping it. People like local.
People love local.
Right? They like to shop local.
Absolutely, totally.
How are we doing for time?
I don't know, Marcel. Like
How's
3
my
minutes.
succotash?
4 minutes. We have 4 minutes.
Oh, we've got tons of time. Okay, I'm actually going to pull my salmon and let it rest. Oh, there we go. And if we've got that much time, I'm going to cook the second piece. Marcel's eyeballing it, I can tell. So the trick when you want to give crispy skin is you got to make sure this is dry. The skin's got to be really dry or it's not going to stick. So we're going to put it into our pan, skin side down, and we're just going to hold down on it for about a minute. It keeps the skin from shriveling up.
Right.
So it'll keep it like fully extended so it won't stick to your pan. So it's kind of a little trick. Again, I'm being coached. I've got like an ear monitor right now, and my chefs are like, okay, this is what you're going to do next. But that's a little bit of a fish trick for the crispy skin.
Okay.
That's it, just for like a minute there. Things are happening in the shop. We're just finishing salmon month, so fresh salmon season starting to dwindle down. If you want to get a hoard of fresh salmon, come down to the shop now. We still got some really good sales going on. We got crabaganza still going on. I know Mark did crab the last segment he was on. King crab, snow crab, just the whole 9 yards of crab. Come on down, get your crab fill. We're running that special until Labor Day.
Okay.
So that weekend, get a crab bog in. Like some of the deals we've got on some beautiful crab, it's just amazing.
Awesome.
And then coming up in a couple of weeks, halibut sale.
Oh, that's
yet
really
again.
awesome.
It's awesome for you guys because you come in and you order your halibut and it gets all done and it's beautiful. But it is so much work for us.
Is it?
Oh my God, it's so much halibut. It's ridiculous. Like it's now turned into everybody in the Okanagan wants halibut. Now we're in Vancouver, right?
Right.
Everybody in Vancouver, they want these halibut done the way we do them. People love it. So
That's
yeah,
good.
all the staff dread it. It's dreadful.
It is dreadful.
It's a dreadful month.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I don't have to really do much of the legwork. I more just buy the fish. So that's a lot easier. But yeah, the poor staff. Okay, so we're just about done here.
Good, because we have about a minute.
Oh, good. I'm gonna finish this with, we got a sriracha aioli. We sell these aiolis in shop.
Yum.
Super delicious. You can make your own. These ones are really good though. I don't mind buying it. So we're gonna do a little dash of our sriracha aioli.
Okay.
Slide that across. See how I did that all fancy restaurant style? I was super coached on that. And then we're gonna go with some of our beautiful seasonal succotash on that dish. The cherry red tomatoes are just making that pop. I think that's how chefs talk.
They do.
And then we've got our beautiful white spring salmon on there as well. White spring salmon, that's BC, troll caught fish, seasonal succotash, sriracha aioli, Fisherman's Market, not a chef, making it happen. You can make that at home, super simple. Come on down to the market, check us out, fishermansmarket.ca. Unbelievable.
That was awesome, Corey. You know what? I don't care what Marcelo says about you. I think you're a great guy.
Marcel does talk a lot of smack, I know.
No, he doesn't. We always enjoy having you on. It's always a treat to have you back. Mark, of course, is now our Kamloops guy, but when you're in town, we always love it. So thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. Love doing it.
Yeah,
Love
fishermansmarket.ca if you want to get on board. Also, head into the store in Sahali.
Sahali, keep it sustainable.
We're back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.